Instacart shoppers know groceries. They know that you can't make guacamole with rock-hard avocados. They know how to quickly find those peanut butter pretzels you can never find. And they keep you in the know by giving you updates about your order along the way. Let Instacart shoppers help take shopping off your plate so you can get time and energy back for what really matters. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply. Instacart. Add life to cart.
Welcome back to Cozy Womb Podcast. My name is Shan, mama of the girls, just 2 girls. Welcome. This is a podcast about parenting, being better parents, and parenting tips, okay? I'm just sharing my experience. This episode is episode 27. This is season 9. And I want to talk about the YouTube kids taking over, because they are taking over. That is almost majority of what my kids are looking at is kids on YouTube, families on YouTube. And what's the deal with YouTube? YouTube is out here making careers for children. Top earners made a total of $162 million between June 1st, 2018 and June 1st, 2019. Who knows where their amounts and what they're making right now are with this YouTubing, whether it's gaming, makeup, slime, acting, imaginary situations going on, giving their feedback on toys, or just, everyday life. They are on there making money. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Is it, not allowing your child to actually do childlike things, or is it incorporating technology into a child's world? What is it? And that's what I'm discussing today. Thank you for checking into Cozy Womb Podcast. Stay tuned. There's more to come. Hey guys, just a reminder, there is Mama's Cozy Closet that has some merch on there for moms out there. So if you're interested in getting a cute sweatshirt, getting a cute sweatshirt, a fanny pack, or a mug, I got some goodies on there for you guys. All right, peace. Welcome back. All right, so YouTube, what's the deal with YouTube? The top kid earners right now on YouTube would be Ryan, who has now his own toys in sometimes Bed Bath & Beyond, Toys R Us, Walmart, and he's bringing in about $26 million as of the end of last year, okay? We have Nastasia, makes 6 figures from sponsored companies on YouTube. Evan Fong, $11.5 million bringing in annually. We have Daniel Middleton bringing in about $12 million from YouTube. So YouTube might be it. Anastasia is bringing in about $18 million as a kid. Could you imagine? Some of us adults don't even see that in our lifetime. What happened to kids playing outside? Or are they playing outside and you have to have the camera in order for them to make money? Because believe it or not, our kids today are so stuck on TV, computers, and tablets, and different devices and phones that they're taking the joy out of physically going outside and enjoying themselves. They're watching other kids play with toys on YouTube. They're watching other kids explore and be kids in their homes on YouTube. I'm just like, why don't you just go do the things that they're doing instead of watching them live, watching them have fun? What happens to a child's privacy, like a kid's privacy? Not having your kid all over the net, not having your kid all over packaging and marketing, and not having all of these people knowing your kid and feeling like they see them play with different things. They see them in different environments and they just feel like they know them. Imagine having your child so popular on YouTube and you going out to do everyday things like go to Walmart, go to the grocery store, celebrate a birthday, and all these kids just surrounding your child, and even parents surrounding your child and wanting to touch, talk to, and just like I feel like your kid needs a space to be a kid. Your kid deserves to walk into somewhere and no one knows them unless they know them. You know, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act rule, that's there, but how strong is it? Is monetizing your children a new wave? And how long will it stay here? Top games that kids like to watch people play on YouTube would be Minecraft. People doing food stunts where they do different things with food, create different things with food, make slime, or just talking over video games. My 6-year-old loves when grown adults talk over video games. And yes, they're animated when they do it, and it just seems like an enjoyable thing to do. But I'm just like, you will sit here and watch this for hours. And I am so for putting a timer on the tablets, putting a timer on how long you could play something, because kids need to not have that much access that much. They need that stuff in increments. They need to have a day where they're not on their tablets. They need to be able to be in a vehicle and see the world outside of their window and not be face down in a tablet or a phone. Like, I think it's very important. My 3-year-old loves YouTube, and her favorite shows are Goo Goo Gaga, watching Baby Alive videos, Gigi Beauty, where it's this lady and her daughter, and they dress up and they, talk on there. Maisley, that family is amazing. It's just a blended family in this beautiful, but at the same time, I'm just like, I want you to go in your room and play with toys. I want you to, wander around the house and find things. I want you to sit and be able to watch a movie with your sister and not have to be on a tablet and not have to, be doing this digitally while you're doing that. Like, when my kids eat, I have to make a rule where you can't have tablets at the table. They don't talk to each other. They're each on their tablet. And I'm just like, that's a no for me. Eat your food, and then once you eat your food, you could come back to this tablet. And sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's easy to be like, oh my gosh, my child is getting on my nerves today. They're talking too much, or they're asking too many questions, or they're too hyper. Give them the tablet. But I think just like our kids need self-discipline when it comes to these electronic devices, parents, we need self-discipline too. We need to be able to say, hey, I know my kid is getting on my nerves, and this is what you say to yourself. Don't say it out loud. I know my kid is getting on my nerves, but them sitting in front of a screen, all these colors and technology, and not having human interaction, and not knowing how to talk to people in public or introduce themselves or just be human is not helping them. So if I tell them just get the tablet and don't look up and don't be aware of their surroundings, anything can happen to them. I'm not really teaching them anything. Even if they're on there, let's say, doing a crossword puzzle. Yay, they get exposure to new words. But think about the things that they can learn from someone that's actually talking to them in real life. Like, kids are losing the fundamentals of carrying a real discussion with someone, having some real feedback from someone in real life, instead of always just being told to do this thing, or being copied because they see another kid do it. And we have to put them in positions to think on their own. Do kids today even know what Foursquare is with the ball? Do kids today even know how to jump rope? Do they know what dodgeball is? Do they play dodgeball? Do they play tag? Do they race each other at the park? Like, I love taking my kids to the park because that's the epitome of them having time to be kids. But there is a lot of parents who are afraid, Ari's dad, of her being around other children, and none of the children at the park is wearing a mask, but it's outside. Would you wear a mask while you go running outside in fresh air? The CDC already said that this corona COVID is not airborne. So why are we wearing masks? Like, if you're physically not sick and you do not have COVID and you are outside in fresh air, you should not have your mask on unless you're around a bunch of people close knit. That is your time to get some air. Okay? We can't live our lives stuck in this mask 24/7. You shouldn't have your mask on in your car. I can't tell you the amount of people that I pass with their windows rolled up and their mask on in their car. Like, I feel sorry for the people at work that have to be triple masked up and gloved up. Like, the glove. Let me tell you about my nails. My nails were beautiful during this quarantine. And then when I had to go back to work and wear gloves so the customers could feel comfortable, my nails slowly broke off because the lack of air made my nails very brittle and soft, and they just started breaking. So now my nails is down to the stubs as if I can't grow nails, and I'm just trying to keep them one color painted and looking civilized just a little bit. But back to this YouTube thing. I think YouTube is a fun platform for kids to learn and figure out things. But I think everything has to be done in increments. I don't think your kid should be spending all day on YouTube. I don't think your kid's goal in life should be to be on YouTube because other kids are on YouTube. I think if your child is doing something eclectic, something new, something fresh, something that they normally would do with you without you telling them to go do that thing, fine. But the kids who are the most successful on YouTube have the parents who have the income to pay for their life to be completely surrounded by their child being on YouTube. Like, you'll see both parents with Ryan playing and this whole video setup, and is very involved. There's no way that their parents could be working a 9 to 5 every day and washing things in the house and watching TV and going places when a child is so much involved in YouTube. Like, your life starts to revolve around your child, literally, financially, socially. And I'm sure they all love their children, but I just feel like there's a certain level of, my child deserves to be a kid. My child deserves to say one day, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. But then, your child is now tied to contracts, tied to companies. And do you want to exhaust your kids before they become adults? Like, imagine the kids today being on YouTube, and then they grow out of it and they get to like their preteens and they're trying to evolve and grow, and they don't know, who they are anymore because they're not that little kid anymore that wanted to be on YouTube. Imagine them getting like their first job at, let's say, a restaurant, being a server or a cashier, and people constantly reminding them, hey, weren't you the kid on YouTube? Or you were the kid on YouTube. Repetitively, that's going to get annoying. And it's just like child actors. I'm sure people still see the guy that played Urkel. See, I don't even know his real name. I'm sure people still see the guy that played Urkel today and still call him Urkel when he has a name and it's not Urkel. Like, you get so caught up in the show, the actor, the entertainer, that you completely forget that this child is going to grow into a whole adult one day. This person is a whole adult off the screen and deserves to have their privacy and their life and not be bombarded with strangers. And it's just a fine line between, is the YouTube kids taking over a good thing or is it a bad thing? And how do we find balance? How do we draw a line of boundaries on, if you see me in public with my child that is very popular on YouTube, you cannot walk up to my child and grab on my child. You cannot demand to have pictures or autographs from my kid. Like, they're a kid. This is not the time. This is not appropriate. Like, do they have bodyguards? If my child was bringing in $18 million a year or $26 million a year in marketing and YouTubing, I feel like that's a big salary for a small child to have. And that's a lot of clicks. And that's a lot of eyes on your kid. And you would be super, super, super hands-on when it comes to security with your kid. Because everybody feels like they deserve to have some say about what your kid is doing because they are just so engulfed in what they do on YouTube. It's scary. So to me, I feel like it's something that can be done sometimes. Like even for me with the podcast, I have, I think, 3 recordings up there with the girls podcasting, but it gets really hard to record with the both of them because their personalities are all over the place. And Aria sometimes wants to be on camera and sometimes she doesn't. And to be honest, I don't really want them on YouTube like that consistently all the time for the world to look at my kids, because I feel like they're going to get to an age one day where they don't want to be a part of that, and they deserve to choose if they want to be a part of that or not. They deserve to have their peace when they go out in public, and it shouldn't be, oh, my mom, put me on YouTube, so that's why, I can't eat in public and I have to take my food to go. Like, I don't want that. So I think it's about balance. I think it's about don't get too much of a good thing. But it's just amazing the amount of money these kids are bringing in with YouTube. Like, I would never imagine being on the internet and having companies get contracts with these children and their parents to do so much marketing through YouTube will blow up like this, but it is. And, it's just something to be aware of. And please, parents, don't feel guilty for taking a phone. Don't feel guilty for giving your child limits on tablets. Don't feel guilty for giving them limits on the computer. I feel like they need it. They need it. They need someone to give them those boundaries until they learn some self-control. Like, I had enough time on the internet today. Let me go do something else. And as a kid, it's hard for them to pull back from that. It's kind of like they're addicted. And if I have to be the bad guy sometimes because I'm just like, you had enough of your tablet, put it away, or let me get your iPads. Listen, my 3-year-old assumes that she's supposed to have her iPad all night until she falls asleep. And then when I take away the iPad, they want to tell me, what are we supposed to do? You're supposed to do the same thing you've been doing before you got this iPad. Playing, watching TV, talking to each other, laughing, like doing things a child should do. The internet, YouTube, cannot be it. Let your kids be kids, and please pull them away from these devices, because they're going to get in front of human beings in the outside world, and they're not going to know how to start a discussion. They're not going to know how to think outside of themselves, and they're going to be so self-absorbed within what they like to do and not care about what other people need and want. And I don't want my kids to grow up like that. So I'm not telling you don't let them watch YouTube. They can watch it, but I'm just saying just limit them on that thing. All right? Thank you for checking out Cozy Womb Podcast. I appreciate you guys as listeners. If you know of any parents that just need some tips out there or can benefit from the Cozy Womb Podcast, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out the merch. Peace.
This episode was sponsored by my friend Naomi, the Holistic Travel Nurse. Go check out her podcast. Get some inspirational stories from people who are taking care of their health and doing it naturally. If you're like me, you listen to podcasts and you want to be inspired and uplifted, and helpful tips to help you grow in your health and your emotions and have an incredible mood and be inspired, you're going to get that all on the Holistic Travel Nurse podcast. In the show notes below, you can just go click the link. Thanks for checking it out.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show, thank you. I appreciate it. You can also find cool, cute Cozy Womb gear on the Cozy Womb shop. It's on Teespring, teespring.com/stores/cozy-womb-shop. And you'll find hoodies, t-shirts, what do you call those? Fanny packs, mugs, everything that I want to give all of my listeners and my supporters during the show is on there for you guys to purchase, okay? I appreciate every penny because every penny does go towards helping my family, especially during a pandemic where I physically can't be out of my house during the week because my children have virtual school. So if you want to support Cozy Womb Podcast, you can support through you getting a little something, and also I getting a little something on the backside. So thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for supporting Cozy Womb Podcast, and thank you for supporting teespring.com. Peace. Bye.
Bye.